Alright, so I figured I'd show off my D&D collection here. Now, it took a little bit to collect these. I had to look for deals and stuff like that. Some of them were more expensive than they should have been, but it's because, well, rarity and condition and all that. So anyway, I pretty much have every book that I used to have except for one, which is the Forgotten Realms campaign setting. But the ones I used to have are the Epic Level Handbook, Psionics Handbook, Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, the original ones, Monster Manual, obviously, the original one, Manual of the Plains, Book of Vile Darkness, let's see, yeah, so that's pretty much, Diablo 2, To Hell and Back, the campaign setting, as well as the player handbook. I also had the Ravenloft campaign setting back in the day. So basically, those are the only ones I had. So everything else, obviously, that's new. Rules Compendium, Savage Species, Expanded Psionics Handbook, Planar Handbook, Player's Handbook 2. In the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide and Monster Manual 3.5 versions. Dungeon Master's Guide 2. I had Book of Vile Darkness before. Manual Plane, same thing. Miniatures Handbook is new. I had the Monster Manual 2 back in the day too as well. Forgot to mention that. But third and fourth one are new. There's also a fifth one I haven't got yet because it's like $200 mint condition. Oriental Adventures, Rokugan, which is actually AEG's version of this, but since they were kind of doing the same thing at the same time these guys are doing it, it's a little different. It's Legend of the Five Rings, AEG, but it uses the D20 system, and this is Dungeons & Dragons version of Legend of the Five Rings. I just call it Oriental Adventures. So in case you're wondering why I got them both, that's why. And like I said, Player's Handbook 3.5. And then I have some Legends and Lairs books. I got these actually for a good price, 5 of them for like $70. Given the fact that each one of them is probably $20-$30 a piece, you know. So I got those. I said the Diablo 2 Diablerie and To Hell and Back. I also have Monster Compendium, Monsters of Faerun. And then down here, we have the Creature Collection Revised, which is this one, but obviously revised in 3.5. Creature Collection 2, Creature Collection 3, Relics and Rituals, Relics and Rituals 2 Lost Lore, Relics and Rituals Excalibur, Relics and Rituals Olympus, campaign settings. So basically like a Greek mythology, and this would be like King Arthur. Necromancer Games, The Tomb of Horrors, which is literally a bunch of monsters from like D&D First Edition and other ones that have not ever really been released. This is a huge book, 400 monsters in just this one. Tomb of Horrors 2, Tomb of Horrors 3, Divine and Defeated, which would basically be the equivalent, Sword and Sorcery's equivalent of, I think it was demigods and deities and demigods or something like that from Wizards of the Coast. So this would be like their version of their campaign setting, I guess, for these is like Scarred Lands for the Creature Collection and things like this. Now this is Ravenloft campaign setting, and then as that came out, they had the Monster Manual, right? So you got the Denizens of Darkness, but then when they had to revise everything to 3.5, they brought it to this. So what happened is that this basically became these two, Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide, and then you have the Denizens of Dread, which I don't have yet, but that's the 3.5 version of this Monster Manual, so they're just updated versions. I have the EverQuest Game Master's Guide, Alkebor's Arcana, which is like a huge spell book for spells, Monsters of Norrath, Monsters in the game, Player's Handbook, and then I have, let's see, D20 system for the Ultimate book series, so it would be like a bunch of volumes, but Ultimate Prestige Classes Volume 1, there's 2 of them. And then I have the Ultimate Monsters Volume 1, they only had one in this series. And then I have the Player's Guide 2 series, 5 books, which is basically every base class of the game, right? So that's, that's a lot. If you were to ask yourself, what condition these are in, they're basically near mint condition. Okay, so just imagine how much this is probably going to be worth if I were to sell this. So I'm hoping that this will go up in value over time because with what's going on with Wizards of the Coast and all the wokeness and how they're destroying D&D and now they're taking orcs out of it. I mean, I'm glad I got all this because we don't have to deal with that stuff with this. Some dice. Got some Ravenloft dice, at least that's what I call them, Ravenloft dice. They're all metal dice, but I have different looks for them for different like campaigns or different people want to play in different characters and they want to kind of set dice. Got like some holy dice here, maybe some like evil looking dice. These are more like vampire evil looking dice. Then you have like a kind of steampunk, same thing over here, metal dice. I have a few up there. But yeah, that is my collection, and it will grow, and eventually I will have pretty much everything. So yeah.